Good morning, and thank you for joining us. My name is Jackson Short, and I'm with the Special Operations Section of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. I am joined today by valuable partners that share the responsibility of protecting Jacksonville's waterways and its resources. Joining us today are Dr. Jerry Pinto from Jacksonville University, Public Information Officer Karen Parker, Marine Biologist Nadia Gordon, and Lance Haskins from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. Craig Miller, the Curator of Mammals from the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens, Monica Ross from the Clearwater Marine Aquarium Research Institute, and Bill Mayer from Clay County Sheriff's Office. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office Marine Unit is a full-time assignment for 8 officers who work throughout the year, and they are responsible for boater safety on the 127 square miles of navigable waterways within Duval County. Each year around this time, as boating activity increases, an educational initiative is launched with our partners to ensure that the boater safety laws are being adhered to. Particular focus will be given to boating under the influence of alcohol or drugs and the enforcement of slow speed zones and manatee zones. In conjunction with our local, state, and federal partners, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office Marine Unit conducted 20 joint agency manatee protection deployments in 2018. These deployments were done to remind the public about the importance of manatee zones. We are proud to announce that these educational deployments contributed to 0 watercraft-related manatee deaths in 2018. This is a significant decrease from the 6 manatee deaths that reported in 2017. At this time, I would like to allow our partners to say a few words.
Karen Parker with Florida Fish and Wildlife. If you're going to be out on the waters during the spring here, you're going to probably see some manatees. We urge you to be on the lookout for them and to obey all the manatee speed zones. Local law enforcement along with FWC officers will be out patrolling, and if you do violate these zones, you could be cited. We just want to make sure that the manatees are okay. Because the manatees are very large creatures and rather difficult to see under the water, we have a couple suggestions that may help you. Always wear polarized sunglasses. Look out for the manatee footprint, which is like a swirling piece of the water. Look for snouts sticking out of the water because they breathe. And just be aware of where the zones are and go slow. If you do happen to see an injured or stressed or sick or dead manatee, we urge you to call our wildlife hotline. It's Wildlife Alert, and that number is going to be 888-404-3922. Let's keep those manatees safe.
Jerry Pinto, Jacksonville University. It's not uncommon for us to see several hundred manatees during the spring and summer, so we want to urge boaters to make sure that they keep an eye out for them. I would like to impress upon the public too not to feed manatees. That includes giving them water because that is against the law, and you will be cited for that. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Nadia Gordon with FWC's Marine Mammal Section. To date, FWC's Northeast Field Lab in Jacksonville has recorded no manatee carcasses and no manatee rescues for Duval County. This is good news. However, we are approaching the busy season when folks will be seeing more manatees, and we just want to remind people of some of the common behaviors that you'll see out there. So one is surface resting or logging. So manatees will spend large amounts of time sunning themselves at the water's surface. But take a look because you may see a little snout as they're breathing, but again, common behavior. Mating herds, this is something else you'll see a lot this year. So what you typically have is one focal large female surrounded by many to several smaller males that are vying for breeding positions. Now, this activity in the water causes a lot of commotion, there's a lot of activity, a lot of splashing, but don't be alarmed. Sometimes though, a female, in order to avoid the males or take a break, will actually beach herself. So if you do see an injured or dead manatee, we do ask you to call, as Karen mentioned, the FWC hotline at 1-888-404-FWCC. When you do call the hotline, you will get a you'll get a recording. When you hear the recording hit 7, that'll take you to a live dispatcher. The dispatcher will take your information, then a biologist will call you back, and we are happy to answer any and all questions that you have. And one thing the FWC would also like to remind you of is that balloon releases are illegal in the state of Florida. So releasing 10 or more balloons in a 24-hour period is illegal. And this is because when you release the balloons, it'll fall into the waterways and ends up being life-threatening to marine animals. So please keep that in mind. And then we just want to say thank you for helping to be our eyes on the water.
Hi, good morning. Monica Ross with Clearwater Marine Aquarium Research Institute. We are lucky enough to tag manatees to see where they go and how they're using the waterways. We have multiple projects that we're tagging manatees, and at this time we actually have a really big project that's just north of Jacksonville at the Florida-Georgia line. We're trying to see how manatees are using waterways outside of Florida. Now, from our tagging data, we do have animals that have gone through the Duval County area. We know very clearly what they're using, pretty much as close to shore, but anywhere you have your intersections of different rivers and creeks, the manatees are going to be pretty much everywhere the boats are, because that shortcut you're using is also the shortcut the manatees are using. They're very smart creatures. They're very good at figuring out what's best for them as well. So if you are in those kind of areas, please slow down, keep your eyes open. As they've already mentioned, some of the tricks that you can use to actually keeping your eyes open for manatees to avoid any interactions. One of the big questions we usually have is, for our tagging equipment, why are you tagging them? Again, we're trying to see where they're going and what they're doing, but all of our equipment is designed so if the manatee was to actually get caught on anything with the belt or the tether, everything is designed to break loose, and they do quite often. Which means then that they're going to have some of the equipment left that will eventually fall off. What we do ask is, if you are seeing a belted manatee or tagged manatee, give FWC the hotline number a call, the 1-888-404-FWCC, and they will actually get in touch with us, and we'll have the opportunity to retag an animal. But again, please do keep your distance from the animals. Don't interact with them. Don't touch the tag. We do appreciate your sightings, and all this information helps manatees overall.
Good morning. I'm Craig Miller with the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens, and we've been working with all these great partners you see up here for 12, 13 years probably, since 2006. And but 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, this August will be 2 years, we opened our Manatee Critical Care Center. And conservation, this is a huge part of, this is one of our biggest conservation projects, and it's a big part of what the Jacksonville Zoo does. 75 cents of every admission goes to our conservation fund, $4 of every membership goes to that fund as well, and it's a huge part of what we do around the world. But to be involved with this local project, for me personally, is really fulfilling, and we do a lot of great work. So we've had 15 manatees come through our facility in less than 2 years, 2 currently there now, and we're just pretty proud to be involved in this great program, that we have these animals literally in our backyard, because the zoo is on the Trout River, part of the St. Johns River system. So important program, a lot of great messages up here today, so just here's to a slow season for sure. Thank you.
Okay, thank you again for coming out today to help us educate the public about boater safety and protecting our manatees. We encourage you to share with your viewers the educational websites that were provided to you, and at this time, we will be happy to answer any questions.
Any other questions? All right, thanks. And if anybody's interested